You ever feel like your AI assistants are just trapped? Stuck inside a single browser tab, totally cut off from all the other apps you're using all day? Well, today we're going to look at a really cool open source tool called OpenClaw that promises to fix all that. It's all about creating your own personal AI gateway. Right out of the gate, the project's own documentation hits you with this. It's just a fun, kind of nerdy quote that honestly perfectly captures the spirit of this tool. It's about breaking your AI free from its shell. It just sets the tone, This thing is powerful, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. So, let's really dig into the problem that OpenClaw is trying to solve. Right now, most of our AI tools are stuck in these little digital boxes, a certain website, one single app. They're not really woven into how we work. OpenClaw starts with a pretty simple question. What if we could just break them free? And this, right here, is the solution. Instead of trying to juggle a bunch of different AI apps and windows, OpenClaw's big idea is to create one single unified gateway. It's like a central hub that connects everything together. Okay, so what is OpenClaw really? At its heart, it's a self-hosted gateway. And those two words, self-hosted, are super important. That means you run it on your own computer, your own server. Your data, your chats, they stay with you. You're in charge. And gateway? Well, that just means it's the bridge, the middleman, connecting the chat apps you're already using to these powerful AI agents in the background. Let's break down how this whole thing actually works. The first piece of the puzzle is your world, the apps you're already in every single day. We're talking WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, even iMessage. And the beautiful part? There's no new app you have to learn. You just talk to your AI right where you're already talking to your friends. Sitting right in the middle, you've got the heart of the system, the OpenClaw gateway itself. This is the piece of software you control, and it basically acts like a universal translator. It sees a message come in from, say, WhatsApp, and it knows exactly where to send it. And this is the last stop. Your message gets routed over to an AI agent, like Pi, which is one the project recommends. Now think of an agent as something way more than just a simple chatbot. It's a model that can remember your conversation, use other tools, and do some pretty complex stuff. This is where the real thinking happens, before it sends a reply right back to you in your chat app. So that's what OpenClaw is. But the why is just as interesting. Why is this thing gaining so much steam? It's not just about a list of features. It's really about a core philosophy that's resonating with a lot of people, especially developers. And that philosophy really boils down to 4 key ideas. First, it's self-hosted, which is all about privacy and control. Your data is your business. Second, it's multi-channel, which is just pure convenience. You set it up once and it works everywhere. Then, and this is crucial, it's agent native. That means it was built from the very beginning for complex AI tasks, not just simple back-and-forth chats. And finally, it's open source. That means it's transparent, you can trust it, and it's built by a community. Okay, with that philosophy as our foundation, let's just blast through 5 of the top capabilities that show you what OpenClaw can really do. This is where the rubber meets the road. First up, its power as a true multi-channel gateway. A single, pretty lightweight OpenClaw process can handle WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, all at the same time. You just run one thing and it's listening everywhere. That's some serious efficiency. Second, it is built to be expanded. This is not a closed box. It has a plugin system, which means the community can add support for new platforms like Mattermost. That design makes it totally future-proof. It can grow as your needs grow. Oh, now this is a real power user feature. It can handle isolated sessions. What does that mean? It means you could have a dedicated coding assistant for your work stuff and a completely separate creative brainstorming partner for your personal chats. They all run through the same gateway, but they have totally different contexts and memories. Just think about that. What would you do with that kind of separation? Number 4 is a huge one, because we're not just talking about text anymore. OpenClaw can handle images, audio files, and documents. Imagine snapping a photo of a whiteboard and sending it to your AI for a summary, or just dictating a long thought as a voice memo. It makes the whole interaction feel so much more natural. And finally, number 5, it's actually easy to manage all this stuff. For such a powerful backend tool, it's surprisingly friendly. You get this clean web dashboard where you can check on your chats, change settings, and manage sessions, all without having to live in a command line terminal. So, you've seen what it is, why it's getting so popular, and the kind of power it packs. I bet the next question in your head is, okay, but how hard is this to actually set up? Well, let's take a look. The whole process is actually refreshingly simple. It's literally just 3 steps. You install the package, you run a little setup wizard, and you pair your first app. The docs say you can go from 0 to a fully functional AI gateway in about 5 minutes. I mean, that's an incredibly low barrier to entry for a tool this powerful.
And that kind of brings us full circle, back to the big idea. By yanking AI out of the browser and plugging it right into the apps we use all the time, OpenClaw turns it into a real, always-on personal assistant. So the real question it leaves us with is this: when you have a powerful AI right there in your pocket, what are you going to build with it?